It's your girl, Fenyx Blue, sharing lyrics, lessons, and lifestyle with you. Today, I have a special guest, my friend, and soon to be your friend, Miss Reea Rodney. Look, I almost got your name wrong. Okay. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's such a pleasure to be on your platform. So thank you so much for having me.
Yes, it is a pleasure for you to be here too. I've been waiting for this interview. Like, I don't know who's more excited, if it's me, if it's you, but we work together so much. We're going to get into that later. But I just want you to start by telling my audience who you are.
Well, first off, you introduced me already by name. My name is Reea Rodney, and I am a woman of faith. I always make sure to make that my head introduction because I'm here truly because of God. He directs my path daily. In addition to that, I am a wife. I'm a mother of 3 young adults, and I currently reside in Brooklyn. I'm originally, though, from Trinidad, which is a small Caribbean island in the West Indies. In the professional space, I am a life coach. I am a self-publishing consultant. I'm a parent coach. There's so many different things that I do. So I just, label myself, as someone who's passionate and just keep pursuing my dreams day by day.
Absolutely. And so many passions. But you said New York, that's a place I have never been. I hope to come. Maybe I'll be able to visit you.
I didn't know that. Yes, most definitely. Then we have to make that trip happen.
Absolutely. So passionate as a coach, as an author, just a woman of faith. I love that, right? Because our purpose is usually linked to our passion. And when they meet together, then it's on, right? It's a wonderful thing. Okay, yes. So I'm glad they know a little bit more about you. I'm wondering if you could tell me, you said you were an author, right? I am a fellow author. Which of your books is your favorite out of all your books? Because you've written 20 books.
I have indeed written 20 books, and I find children's books to be dear to my heart. It's very hard for me to choose a favorite because all of my books focus on topics that, I am passionate about. But due to the recent event, I would say my latest book, whether it's Juniper and Rose, We Will Always Come Back. Please excuse me, I just sent a shipment out, so all I have left is my proof copy with the strip. But this actually, it is my favorite book. It is the 3rd book in the series. And this book actually is a #1 best-selling book, as well as the other 2 books in the series. So I'm very pleased by that. But the reason why this book is actually my favorite book is because of the topics. And in this book, Juniper and Rose, they focus on the topic separation anxiety. And as we know right now, based on what's happening in the world, and our children had to first be homeschooled, and then we had parents who had to go out there and work in the midst of the pandemic. And now the country is, it's opening back now. So now children have to transition. And while that is exciting for them, it can be very intimidating. So in this story, it helps the kids, I guess, to understand more. It's a very fun and interactive read. But in this book, Juniper and Rose, they're separated from the parents for the very first time. So this book is infused with SEL.
Oh.
And it gives kids the technique, right, in which they can learn how to manage their anxieties and their fears. And it also becomes a tool for parents, right? I envision that if a parent has to go away on a business trip, or perhaps they're going on a vacation, in this time, even having to make that trip to the hospital, this book can become an essential staple where you could read it to the kids. And at the time when that parent is away, there's fun interactive things that the kids can do to help them to just focus less on that worry and fear and just continue day by day. So most definitely I'm passionate about this book. It's my top children book right now.
That is awesome. And I'm in the education space. And so SEL, social emotional learning, is at the forefront. You know, with
Yes.
everything that happened, we're more concerned with making sure that the whole child is ready to learn, making sure that
Yes.
they're healed and they're mentally healthy before you're trying to, you know, shove education down their throats, right? We're trying to make
Yes.
sure they're together. So, and I think another reason why I like that book, what you're mentioning is it's also for the parent. I know my favorite reads with the twins were books that I also enjoyed, you know, so that's something that could help the parent as well. So I like it, little Juniper.
You know, as a parent coach and as a children coach, I know the importance of supporting the parents. And every children book that I write, just it's all becomes a tool for the parent, and then I blog additionally with all these extra topics. So I really focus on supporting the parents as well, so that they can have that tool to you know, to support their children and to feel empowered, you know, in doing so.
Love it, love it. Blogger, coach, author, so many things that are great about you. But what is something that would surprise people to learn about you? What's something that would surprise even me? You know.
I wonder if I shared this with you. Well, you know, many people think that authors, right, supposed to love to read. And to be quite honest, I remember sharing this with someone very earlier on when I took up this passion to write my first children book. I said with them, I said, you know, I don't like reading. And that person said to me, I don't get it. There's no way you could be an author and not like to read. And it first, I was very offended by it because I am a woman of faith. So I know out of nothing, my God can make something.
Yeah.
And and the reason why I never like reading, and I still don't enjoy reading today, and I'm going to be quite honest about that, is because as a child, I do have a speech impediment. I stutter and I have a lisp. And it was very traumatic for me. I was bullied, which I know is a topic that is dear to you, and it's also a topic that is dear to my heart. And I was teased quite often. And my stuttering, it was increased due to trauma, right? And I never liked reading out loud. When I had to read during my class time in primary school and in high school, it was the most terrifying thing for me. So I guess it helped me to, it pushed me, I guess, to just not like reading. So when I did decide to write this book, I was very sick and God told me to write for my healing. And I remember being a woman of faith. I said, God, I can't read. I wouldn't be able to read this book. And God told me, he said, I will be thy speaker. And I remember Moses. So at that time, I had nothing left to lose. So I said, okay, bring it on. And I wrote that book, but I was terrified throughout the entire time. I didn't believe in myself, guys, to be honest. And I did an audio. I had my backup, my plan B. If I couldn't bring those words out, I'm gonna just do the audio. But I had to allow myself to be comfortable with failing in order to do that. But I did it. I read the book, and you know, looking at it now, I'm an author of 20 books. I keep going. But what people do not know about me is that I don't enjoy reading. You will never tell that, but I push myself to always learn. And I do find fun in reading books that could uplift me.
Yes.
So when I do read, I read those, you know, inspirational books. But other than that, I'm not someone who likes to read, but that doesn't make me less of a powerful writer.
No.
I'm a visionary,
Absolutely.
You know?
And a modern day Moses. I love it. That's right. So your testimony is one that is awesome because here you are, you're starting as someone who didn't love reading, but yet you've written 20 books that encourage kids to read and to have a love for reading. So I think that is so powerful. And when you said bullying, I mean, you are a survival story. And to me, so many people need to know that. I try to share with students like, listen, it gets better. And you're evidence of that. Yes. So I love
get better.
Yes, it does. It does. Much better, right? #1 best-selling author. Wonderful.
Yes. And you are that too. So I'm very proud of you. You know, it's such a remarkable, you know, accomplishment.
Yes, I've joined the club now. I'm official. So speaking of the author club, what has been your best experience as an author? Because some of my viewers are people who want to publish and I like to inspire them. And, you know, there are also people who don't really know what we do during a day. Like, what is a day in a life of an author like? So what has been your best experience as an author?
You know, I just love getting the feedback from people when they say that my book really helped them. It makes me feel accomplished, and it lets me know that this path that I am on, which is directed by God, that it is accurate. You know, so each time I interact with my readers and they share that, it definitely makes me feel good. But I want to say becoming a best-selling author was one of my most fulfilling moments. When I embarked on this journey, I always thought becoming a best-selling author was something far out of my reach. So I never pursue it. I just, you know, said to myself, it's all about the impact, it's about each child, and that is very important. But as I start to see myself differently, I start to see that I was going somewhere and I had a passion. I realized that was something that I wanted. It was a title I wanted to put under my belt as well. And I learned about it and I spent some time just trying to figure out how it works. And then voila, one day, two of my book became bestseller, you know. So definitely as an author, that is something that has really been inspirational for me. And now I get to make my clients, my authors, bestseller. So just interacting with them, you know, from the perspective of an author, but also their coach, you know, that in itself, it is so amazing. I can't explain it. Like when I'm able to help my client to reach where I have reached and even push them to reach further, it just makes me so excited. Fenyx, I can't explain it. I'm just like super, I'm like a little child. I really love the publishing aspect and I just love, you know, impacting life.
Yeah, and I believe me, I understand, because it's like, you know, as an educator, it's not about you, it's about what you can impart in someone else. And you
Yes.
like leaving a legacy that keeps going on and on and on forever. And that's what you do for your authors. And in fact, with your whole best-selling campaign, you're working on a project right now where not only may they be #1 best-selling authors, they may be international
Yeah.
best-selling authors. Could you tell us a little bit more about that project?
Well, again, here we go with God, guys. I hope I don't bore you guys, but you know, God is at the center of it all.
Bring them on.
And you know, my life, if I were to talk about my life here right now, we will be talking perhaps for about 2 days. I've been through it all. And God said to me, he said, I need you to do a series of anthologies. And this was me again saying, me, God, why me? Because I didn't even think about it on my own. And I just love the way that God, how he inspires me and how he speaks to me. And it has this quote that is my favorite quote, one of my favorite quotes that I go by, which is never let a good crisis go to waste. My life has been filled with so many different crises.
Churchill.
Churchill, yes, by Winston Churchill. Yes. And it's been something that I've been using all the time. And I felt very led to make this the main title or name of my anthology series. And currently for 2020, we are working on 3 books. The books right now, which you are part of. Thank you so much for being a part of this, Fenyx. It's called The Secret Prayer of the Righteous Black Woman, The Power of a Mother's Love. And that book, oh my goodness, it's such a powerful book. And I'm just feeling something deep within that God is going to do something that is going to blow our mind with this book. Yeah. And what this book does, you know, it is a book that is geared towards the Black community, right? And the stories are coming from Black moms. And it's coming from everyday people, right? And what we are sharing is a fear that we once had, one of our deepest fear raising Black children, right? And so I'm amazed by the different type of story. But what really amazed me is not the story, it's the fact that each and every one of these moms' fear were once my fear.
Yes.
So it just showed the connection. And this anthology, the way it's going to be written is that we are going to share our story about that fear and how we overcame it. And we are going to be able to empower the reader. And at the end, it's going to have a very powerful prayer. So this book is going to be filled with 12 short, powerful stories of real life fear that these moms share and how it affected their home, how it affected them, how it affected their children and their turning point. And they are going to offer real solution to the readers so they can to overcome. We're breaking yoke, right? We're breaking chain. We are soothing heart. We're breaking curses. We are empowering our Black women and our Black family. And we also educating the non-Black community because they would see that as a Black with so much more. You know, every parent wish for their children to be happy and for them to just excel in life, right? But a Black parent, we have to wish for so much more. When our kids go out there, we have to be intentional with our praying. We have to be intentional with everything that we do to make sure that they could really be successful. And sometimes when we do all of that, it isn't the case. However, we cannot walk around in fear. And this book is a book that's going to break them free from fear because we're going to understand that God is in control. Yes, He is the one who directs each and every one of our paths. And we just have to show up and be the moms who pray, slay, and find the way. So I'm excited about that anthology, which we're doing. And the other book that we are right now getting ready to start, it's a book where the men are the main leading authors. And this book is called...
Out. You didn't leave the men out, the dads.
No. The men are not left out because so many of our boys, they are lost. Yeah. But boys need to feel that empowerment. They need to see a reflection of themselves, breaking change and climbing that ladder so that they could feel like, hey, I can do it too. So this book, Freedom Starts in the Mind as a Man Thinketh, this really deals with the mindset. And while men are the leading authors and the speaker, the book is not just for men, it's for everyone. And that is important to know.
I'll learn.
Yes, so many of us are walking around looking as if we are free, but we are being held in a mental slavery or in a mental prison, right? And we don't want to be there. We don't want to be there, but oftentimes people feel lost. They feel like they cannot get out of this mindset or they don't know how to strive. And what this book is going to show, it's going to be highlighting, strong men who were able to break free from that mindset. Where, there's so many different things: fear, suicidal thought, right? Anxiety, depression, just feeling as if I'm not good enough, low self-esteem, lack of confidence. I mean, we could go on, and we could even get personal, lusting, right? So many different things. And it is keeping them in bondage, right? But they were able to break free from that. And as a result, they are walking in their purpose and in their truth and living their authentic life. And there's so many people who are feeling like a square peg in a wrong hole. They feel like there's no place for them in this world. They feel like everyone is getting by and they are just stagnant. That's just a mindset.
Yes, I can do it too.
And that's going to be the mantra for everyone, no matter what. I can do it too. And it's going to really help them to be motivated to really just step forward. And then at the ending of the year, we are going to be doing my book, which was birthed based on the pandemic. And it's called 2020, the year all the lemons were served. Yes. Finding optimism during adversity. And when we think about the phrase, when life gave us lemon, we make lemonade. Right? And there's so many people in the midst of chaos, in the midst of trial, right? Like Winston Churchill, they didn't let that good crisis go to waste. They were able to rise up. That would be, they were able to define who they are and soar like a phoenix and soar, right? I was one of them.
Yeah.
In the middle of a pandemic, while people were losing their jobs and trying to hold on to theirs, God told me, he said, Reea, this is time for you now to take on your business full pledge. I didn't stutter. I didn't wave. I said, God, if this is the time, actually crying and bawling because they lose their job, and I understand where that came from, I stepped away from mine and embarked into my business full time without one client. And God gave me the blueprint, right? Which one of it was this anthology. He said, you are going to open up your publishing company and start to publish for people. And I was able to do that. And I know if I can do it, you can too. And I know there are many other people who could rise beyond their adversity. And this book is going to be that book to help so many people come out of their comfort zone, right? And move forward towards their purpose. It's all about transformation. These 3 books is about transformation. It's about helping you to define who you are and to walk in your truth. So I'm just excited to see all that God is going to do with these 3 new projects. I'm seeing it being a global movement.
Yes.
And a life changer.
Yes, that's what I was saying, is that I love that each of the books sounds like it's going to be helpful. And the word that you used was transformational, whether for moms or the community that is going to read it, because everyone can learn how to overcome fears, right?
Yes.
We all have them, and there's so many different ones. We can each see ourselves in the stories that are going to be in that book. So I'm excited about all 3, especially the fathers as well, and the dads and the men, because it's not often that we get to hear their perspective. And I don't know if you're still looking for people for that project. I'm sure there are men out there who would be excellent, who have overcome great big obstacles and changed their mindset, because it's all about mindset, growth mindset. And so I think that's a fabulous project. And we know the 3rd one, you could probably have everyone in that one for 2020.
Everyone.
Yes, not just a dozen stories, a million 4.6 billion stories, since we all.
No, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people will be able to relate to all of those projects. So that is so exciting. And for you to just step out, take a leap of faith, and to begin a company when everyone else is quitting, like everyone is walking away. That tells me something about your mindset as well. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. I must say, no, my company is actually going to be 5 years old on August 12th. Okay. So I have my publishing company for almost 5 years now. Okay. But I was, just working on publishing my book. But it's always been my dream to open up my doors. And God just said to me, he said, hey, you have what it takes, and now is the time, seize the moment. And not just for my publishing, because I'm also a parent and children coach as well. Yeah. So when I decided to take that leap, it was me saying, okay, I am going to put my all into this company now. My job has funded it and it has bring it to where it is, but now I have to really take it up and go forward. So, this company is 5 years now, but I'm telling you, from the moment I opened my door and I said yes, that was the time everything changed. My books became bestseller. I got a lot of media coverage, so it really helped me to bring in a lot of clients. Under my belt right now, I have about 17 publishing clients. I've made about 8 clients bestseller. So I've accomplished such a lot in such a short space of time. And my children program was accepted in a New York public school. And we just finished our full session. So a lot happened in under 6 months, and I'm just thankful to God, and I'm looking forward to see more great things happening.
I am looking forward to it as well. I mean, great things are on the horizon. So tell me, there are a lot of people who are watching, most likely, and hoping to be in your shoes. It's like she took this leap of faith. She had a company for 5 years, and then she decided to do these anthologies. She's able to walk away from her career to be in the school system. That's what I want. So what tip or advice would you give to an upcoming author, someone who wants to be where you are?
Whenever I share it, I actually have it on my website. My family laugh. night. None of us is getting out of here alive. So if you ever wanted to write a book, don't wait for life crisis to force your hand. You know, you have the chance to share your words and your thought and your passion with the world. You know, so don't let that chance slip. You have to believe in your story. You have to know that you have the power to take your life into the direction that you want it to go. And you just have to, the key thing is to start and to be consistent. I always tell people, if we think about all what could go wrong, we might never move. But failure is life's greatest teacher. Yeah. So please just give yourself, be okay with failing. You know, give yourself permission to fail, but start and try. As a self-publishing consultant and book coach, one of my biggest advice I will give to someone who wants to write and wants to become an author is to hire a self-publishing coach. I'm not just saying it because I want a client. I was that person from my very first book. I did that because I felt like I needed to know. Yes. I want the book to be positioned properly. And
awesome. So starting, which seems like a simple word, but for many, that's the hardest part, is like getting it on the page, or even, you know, giving yourself permission to have the time to write sometimes. So yes. Starting, but what I really love that you said is the teacher of the year is failure. So yes. if you never start, you can't even give yourself permission to fail so that you can learn. So starting, yeah. And then going ahead, if you do fail, that's okay. You're going to learn throughout the process. And then if you can, hire someone to help you along the way. Why reinvent the wheel? So I love that advice that you're giving to those future authors. I hope they're listening and paying attention, because that's great advice.
I want to add this as well. You know, I am very authentic. I say to my clients, I'm like, listen, I'm positioning your book in a way that it's even more dynamic than mine. I have 20 books. I didn't get to the knowledge why I am here with all, you know, like before I wrote those books. And what I'm saying is a lot of my books are positioned and it needs some work. It needs some doctoring. I could go back and doctor it, right? So I didn't get to where I am because I just knew it all. It's through trial and error, but now where I am, it's in a good place. I'm knowledgeable and I'm able to be confident. So we just got to start, give ourselves that permission to not get it right the first time. It's all about your mindset. Mindset is so important in everything that we do. Yeah. As a man thinketh, such is he. If you think you're going to fail and failing is a bad thing, then you're going to be, you know, challenged. Yes. But if you look at failure, like, okay, it's going to teach me something new. It's going to teach me what not to do. It's going to help me to continue going. Then you are going to reach great, you are going to excel.
Yes, absolutely. I've learned that from my own life. I run toward fear just to give myself an opportunity to grow, because otherwise yes. I'm not growing. Okay, so I think we're getting toward the end of our interview, which is kind of rough for me. We could talk forever. We're friends. We, you know, spend time together on Clubhouse every Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Teaching other authors and trying to inspire people. But I'm hoping that you could just give, like, you know, in a sentence, like, who are you? What do you want our readers to know about Reea? Reea Rodney is...
Well, you know, I am someone who is very determined. I'm fearless, you know, and I just live life just trusting God. I am someone who is filled with faith, and my faith is what leads me to where I am. You know, if I look back at my life and all the negative things that I was told that I was not amount to anything. I was a teenage mom who didn't have the opportunity to finish school. And just last year, I was told by the doctors, there's nothing more we can do for you. We've done our best while I was laying dying with COVID. But through my God has for me. I am a survivor. I am a warrior. I am here and I am here to stay and I'm here to make it. So if you don't remember me by anything, I want you to remember me by the fact that faith is my greatest weapon.
Woo! Faith is her greatest weapon. So tell me, Reea, where can people reach you? You know, I know you're part of my Facebook community. She's a blue writer, guys. She's bold, loving, unapologetic, and always evolving. But where else can they go to reach you? On social media or your website? Of course, it's going to be in the comments, but let the people know.
Okay, so you can visit my website, which is www.darapublishing.co. It's not an error, it's co, not .com. And you could also email me if you wish to at darapublishing@gmail.com. And you can find me on Facebook. You know, it's Reea Rodney 1, or just look up my name, you're gonna find me. And on my business page, it's Dara Publishing.
Awesome.
And that's Instagram.
Yes.
Facebook and Instagram. Reea Rodney, Dara Publishing.
Absolutely. So if you need a coach, or you just want to get some great books, or you want to be part of the anthology, you are a Black dad, or you someone who went through things in 2020, you know where to go to find Reea, right? So thank you for being here today. I appreciate you. And let's say goodbye to the people together.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye, guys. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hey, fear, get out of here. Bye-bye.